What if I told you that there is a psychological trigger capable of making anyone feel irresistibly attracted to you without even realizing it? Does it seem impossible? For the truth is that the attraction does not happen by chance. There are hidden patterns that make the human mind record someone as essential as an emotional addiction, and most people spend their lives without understanding how it works. Now, imagine just mastering this power, being the center of attention, awakening genuine desire, making that special person think of you all the time. It looks like a movie thing, right? But it is not. The reality is that some people know this secret and use it all the time, maybe even against you. The worst, this is so subtle that you don't even realize you're being hooked. And the most curious? Most people try to win someone the wrong way. They think they need to be more beautiful, richer, more popular. But the truth is that the attraction doesn't work that way. What really makes someone feel obsessed with you has nothing to do with look or money. It has to do with how you activate certain triggers in the other person's brain. Now, think of someone you've known and seem to have an inexplicable magnetism. That person who, without being the most beautiful or the richest, was always interested in her. What does she do different? Why is she remembered while other people are forgotten? What makes some people impossible to ignore? The big secret is in the way they activate the right triggers in the subconscious of those around. This happens subtly but extremely powerful. And today you will learn exactly how to do this. The truth is that there are 3 fatal mistakes that make most people lose their chance to create this deep and lasting connection. The first mistake is to be too predictable. When you are always accessible, respond fast, always available, and do everything to please the other person's brain, to see you as a priority and starts treating you as an option. The second mistake is to think it needs to impress all the time. Many people try to conquer someone doing everything to be funny, interesting, or impressive, but end up falling into the trap of seeming desperate for attention. And do you know what is worse? This is one of the greatest attraction killers. When you try too much, the other person realizes. And instead of creating desire, you generate disinterest. And the third error, and this is the most dangerous, is to deliver all its value without the other person having to earn anything in return. Stop to think. What makes us value something? Simple. The effort we put to get that. If everything is too easy, the human mind does not value. That's why people who play hard to get something usually are more successful in seduction. But calm down, because I'm not telling you to pretend to be someone who is not. The question here is not to become an artificial or cold person. What I want to teach you is a proven method to arouse attraction naturally and genuinely without having to change its essence. What if I told you that there is a simple but extremely effective psychological trick that makes someone stuck in you as an addiction? Yes, that's exactly what you will learn here today. But first, it already leaves the like and subscribes to the channel, because this is the kind of knowledge that no one tells you, but that can completely change your way of relating. Now pay attention, because what I will tell you next can turn the way you are perceived and ensure that the person you want to be obsessed with you. Have you noticed that some people seem to mesmerize others effortlessly, while others are completely ignored? This is because they activate deep psychological triggers that arouse desire, emotional fixation, and in some cases even obsession. This has nothing to do with luck or chance. It's pure attraction psychology, and if you understand how it works, you can turn the game to your advantage. The first key piece of this puzzle is scarcity. The human being values what he feels he can lose. Want an example? Think of anything that you were absolutely sure you could have at any time. Did you really feel like that? Probably not. Now, it remembers the last time something seemed beyond its reach. Suddenly, that has become a priority, right? That's exactly how the attraction works. If you are always available, answer fast, say yes for everything, and never create space for each other to miss you, you become predictable. And predictability is enemy of desire. The second psychological factor that generates fixation is unpredictability. The human mind loves patterns, but is attached to what is unpredictable. Do you know when someone gives you intense attention for a moment and then disappears? And suddenly, are you finding yourself thinking about the person more than you should? This is because uncertainty keeps your mind busy. If you give everything on the tray without surprises, the other person loses interest. Now, when you become unpredictable, it makes her think of you all the time, trying to understand your intentions, trying to predict your next movement. This is a powerful trigger for creating intense attraction, but the most powerful secret of all is intermittent validation. This is the principle that causes casinos to earn billions. They do not always give rewards, but randomly, creating a psychological addiction. The same thing happens in relationships. If you praise all the time, the impact decreases. But if you create a dynamic where at times it gives intense attention and in others retreats, the other person gets addicted to this sensation. It is this game of emotions that makes someone feel that they need to win you all the time. Now tell me in the comments, have you felt that you were obsessed with someone and didn't know why? I want to know your story, and stay with me, because then I will teach you how to apply these principles in real life and make anyone be completely fascinated by you. Now that you have understood how emotional obsession works and what are the psychological triggers that make someone get to you, it's time for the most important part, how to apply it in real life. The truth is that many people make a mistake because they try to force the connection. They think they need to impress all the time or to give them all right away. But the secret to making someone think of you constantly is creating a subtle psychological game where the other person feels that he is conquering you, not the other way around. And for that, there are 3 fundamental steps that make anyone feel magnetically attracted to you. The first step is to be mysterious. And that doesn't mean hiding who you are or being inaccessible all the time. The point is simple. Do not reveal everything at once. When you deliver all your information early on, the other person feels that you have deciphered you, and the human brain loses interest in what you already understand. Now, when you let out small doses about your life, about your experiences, creating gaps that make the other person curious, they automatically feel like knowing more. This curiosity acts as a fuel for attraction. The harder it is to predict the following, the more interesting you become. The second step is to play with attention. This is one of the most powerful tricks to activate emotional fixation. If you have already realized that some people seem to be addictive, even without being the most beautiful or charismatic, it is because they dominate this game. The secret is to alternate moments of intense attention with periods of mild distancing. When you give all your attention at once, without creating breaks, the impact is lost. Now, when you create moments where you connect deeply, it makes the other person feel special, and then leaves lightly, without explanation. Her brain goes into a search state, trying to recover that peak attention she received before, and that's exactly what makes someone think of you non-stop. The third step is the most powerful of all, activating the trigger of intense emotion. What makes someone unforgettable is not just the frequency with which it appears in the other's life, but the emotional intensity it provides. Moments of adrenaline, deep conversations, experiences that take the other person out of the ordinary routine are what make the brain record you as someone special. Creating this emotional intensity can be as simple as breaking patterns, changing the tone of conversation suddenly, taking the person to unexpected places, or provoking strong emotional reactions. The important thing is that whenever someone thinks of you, remember an intense emotion associated with your name. Now tell me in the comments, have you used any of these strategies without realizing it? Or have you fallen into the game of someone who made you addicted emotionally? Comment here, I want more. If you want to learn other triggers that make anyone fixed on you without effort. And pay attention, because in the next passage, I will reveal how to turn it all into an infallible plan to make anyone run after you. Now you know that making someone feel obsessed with you has nothing to do with look, money, or status. Forget this idea that only incredibly attractive people can awaken desire and emotional fixation. The truth is that the attraction is much more linked to psychology than any other external factor. It is the right mental triggers that make someone think of you all the time, miss you even without apparent motives, and want to be by your side without understanding exactly why. Which separates those who are quickly forgotten from those people who leave the deep mark in the minds of others, is the understanding of this invisible game of attraction. Scarcity, unpredictability, and intermittent validation are the pillars that create this fixation. If you know how to use them naturally and strategically, you become impossible to ignore. Now stop and think for a moment. How many times have you been too predictable? How many times have you given all your attention right away, revealed everything about your life without creating mystery, or did everything to your power to conquer someone just to be discarded or forgotten shortly thereafter? The error was not who you are, but in the way you positioned yourself in the attraction game. From now on, you no longer have to wonder why some people seem to be magnetically attractive, while others struggle to maintain someone's interest. You have the necessary knowledge to completely change the way people perceive you and reprogram your presence to become unforgettable. The secret is in the details, the way you generate curiosity, in controlling your attention, the emotional intensity you create. And if you want more content like this, with even more advanced techniques to master the art of attraction and seduction, comments below. I want more. I read all the comments and always bring the best content to help you become an irresistible. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, because in the next video, I will reveal an even more powerful secret to making anyone run after you. So you prepare, because what comes next can completely change your game.